My name is Dr. Richard Hillsden. I am a surgeon, and this is my channel, Knife Skills. Here, I like to talk mostly about general surgical issues, but also do some medical education. And one of my areas of interest actually are health economics. And I think it's important, really, at this point in time, since we're dealing with a very complicated worldwide situation with the coronavirus. I'm recording this on April 20th, 2020. And that is the issue of the quality adjusted life year. You see, we've made some extreme changes to society this year. We've in fact lowered the quality of life of billions of people in order to save lives. And that puts us in a difficult tension, a tension between quality of life and lives saved. Of course, every life matters, but when you're talking about big policy decisions, important healthcare decisions, you need to talk about the quality adjusted life year as a tool to help us determine what the right mode is. So let's turn to the computer here. So you can see that I've defined the quality adjusted life here essentially as a year of life times the utility value of that life. So there are lower things that lower your quality of life, and so that lowers that utility value. And that, of course, is relevant because a lot of treatments and things we do in healthcare don't actually save lives, but they improve quality of life. And again, from a government and a policymaker, it's not just lives that matter, it's quality of life that matters. So when we look at it graphically, here's an example of two individuals that have a change in their health at certain stages. We have person one who is almost perfect quality of life. In fact, rarely are you one. There's a lot of reasons for why you're not actually at a one. And then they have a disease, it drops down, and then without intervention, they get some worse quality of life, and then it drops down here, and ultimately they die. In the second case, there's some treatment, and the patient lives longer, but also with higher quality of life. And you can see that the area between B and A are different. B has a greater area, greater quality of life than A. So on an example, sometimes you could talk about situations where age can factor in on how it can impact quality. So from an actuarial point of view, if someone's expected to live to 90, but they die at 60, that's 30 qualities lost. Whereas if someone is in perfect health, lives to the age of 80 but was also expected to die at 90, there's only 10 qualities lost. Now obviously every life matters, and this may intuitively make you feel a little bit uncomfortable saying, well, I'm factoring age or something that is beyond an individual's control to make these decisions. And granted, on an individual basis, it's incredibly important to not think about things necessarily in this way. And as a doctor, we care immensely about every single patient. But when we're dealing with a coronavirus situation, this is not an individual level decision that we're making anymore. This is not about the right drug for one person or one medication for a particular person. This is about a national level, global policy. So let's take a look at what this means. Right now, if we look at coronavirus math, we have 150,000 deaths. But to achieve that low number of deaths, we've locked down nearly half the global population. That's almost 4 billion people. That's 4 billion people whose quality of life is no longer functioning at one. In fact, it's been dropped down due to limitations on their social interactions, financial costs, limitations on freedom of movement. A lot of things that we take for granted that make up a high quality of life have been restricted by governments. And of course, that has had a tremendous effect. In fact, we've seen flattening of the curve. Lives have been saved with those strategies. But the governments are now facing a difficult situation. With more than a month of lockdowns in many regions, they need to make a decision as to whether to open the economy in order to raise the quality of life. And a tool they can use is they can think about the global impact on quality of life. Are the lives lost that will inevitably be lost by opening up the economy outweighed by the increase in quality of life of the population as a whole by allowing those freedoms? It's not my decision to decide that. It's the governments, our policymakers, our health economics professionals that make those decisions. But it's important for us to be informed. to understand truly the challenges that are faced and this tool, the quality adjusted life here, that can help make these decisions.